James Ross, Random Ross. Hello and welcome to a tag video. So, if you're not familiar with tags, on the horror community on YouTube, we go around doing these tag videos where we tag other channels to answer series of questions that we write out. Some channels create them and we pass it along, and I've dabbled in a lot of them, and a lot of them have been horror tags, but this one, it's not horror related, so I thought I would try it on this channel, Random TV. Plus I haven't really posted out much on here since Stephen Carroll wrapped up his fantasy football, so I thought, let's do a tag, and this is the James Bond tag created by Sean Patrick Erschen over at the Horror Corner, or under these circumstances, the Action Corner, I'm going to assume. So, there's 13 questions. So, question 1. Question 1 is favourite Bond gadget. For me, I'm going to go with Little Nelly from You Only Live Twice. A fascinating little helicopter gadget that Bond flies in the film, and is pieced together in the film as well by Q, played by the great Desmond Llewellyn. So I'm going to go with that one. And I remember watching it as a little kid being fascinated and mind blown by it too, like a little helicopter thing. Question 2. Favourite Bond villain. Oh, this is not an easy one. See, I like Goldfinger, and I also like Ernst Stavro Blofeld, played by the great Donald Pleasance. Well, Donald Pleasance in You Only Live Twice, he's been played by various actors, currently being played by Christoph Waltz. I'm gonna give and I do like Alec from GoldenEye, played by Sean Bean, who to me is a local man because he's like me, from Sheffield. Anyway, I'm gonna give this one to Scaramanga, aka the man with the golden gun, played by the horror legend that is Christopher Lee. So Scaramanga. I would have also said Oddjob, but he's a villain, but he's like a henchman, so I'm gonna go with that one. So there we go. Okay, so favourite Bond car, James Bond car. I'm going to go with the Aston Martin from Goldfinger, which they did reuse or at least replicate in the 50th anniversary, celebrated its 50th anniversary in the film Skyfall. And it's going to use again in No Time to Die from what I've seen. Even though it's not the same one because that got destroyed in Skyfall. Question 4. This is a bloody easy one. For me anyway. Favourite actor to portray James Bond? Connery, hands down. Best actor to play Bond, and still is. I remember I grew up watching the Connery films with my dad, like on Saturday afternoons with my dad, just chilling and watching James Bond and seeing Sean Connery play him, and he's just the best one. Bond, James Bond. Question 5. Favourite Bond girl. I'm gonna go with. I'll probably go with. What was Diana Rigg's Bond girl called in Live and Let Die? Hold on a second. Live and Let Die. Was it Diana Rigg who was in Live and Let Die? Hold on a second. Which Bond film was Diana Rigg the Bond girl in? On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yes. who actually married Bond. She, and again, that is not considered the best one, especially George Lazenby playing Bond, and that was his only Bond appearance. But one of the best parts was Diana Rigg. I thought she was a beautiful woman, but she's still alive, and I gotta say she's still a nice woman. And it's just heartbreaking at the end. Like Bond has finally found some happiness. He's got a wife, and then he loses her in an instant. But Diana Rigg's character, Tracy Bond, very underappreciated Bond girl, I gotta say. I want to say Pussy Galore, but I feel that's too thingy. People, that I feel that would be a common answer. So that is that one. Question 6: favourite action scene in a James Bond film. For me, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the finale in. Yeah, I'll probably go with the finale of. God, it's a tough one. So I'll go. My favourite action scene is when, of course, Bond is fighting Oddjob in Goldfinger, and then when Oddjob gets his hat stuck in the metal bars, he gives him that electric shock. I remember watching that as a kid, and I was like, "What did he do, Dad?" And when he electrocuted him, that is one of my earliest memories, and probably one of my action sequences of a Bond film. Question 7: favourite plot in a James Bond film. I would probably say Dr. No. Dr. No planning to launch nuclear weaponry, and working for Spectre. I would say that one. There's many other plots like Skyfall with the cyber terrorism from Silver, but I'll go with Dr. No on this one because that is one of my favourite Bond films. Question 8: who would you pick as the next James Bond actor? A lot of people commonly say Idris Elba. I want to say that too, because first of all, it'd be a black man. We've never had a black actor portray Bond. I mean, it's not like Doctor Who where you can change the sex just like that and have no one notice. I would go with a black actor, and the one I can think of, and the one I've had in mind for so long, like a lot of people have, is Idris Elba. So I'm going to go with that one. Question 9: what is your favourite Bond film? Goldfinger. Question 10: what is the most underrated James Bond film? I will say On Her Majesty's Secret Service, but that's, like I just said, not the best one. Has some good moments in there, but just not the best one. I'm going to go with License to Kill. Yeah, because this was like the first original Bond film that wasn't based off any books. After The Living Daylights, they had no book title ideas, so they went with an original story, which didn't quite work out, and I think that's what caused the series to be off screen for 6 years before they made GoldenEye. And I also feel that Timothy Dalton's a very underappreciated Bond as well, because he only had 2 attempts. He didn't do as many films like his predecessor did, and by the time GoldenEye was going into production, he'd lost interest anyway by then. So I'm going to go with License to Kill on that one. Originally titled License Revoked, but they thought that would cause confusion, so yeah, License to Kill. Anyway, 3 more questions. Question 11: what is the worst James Bond film? I think I've already specified that on Her Majesty's Secret Service. But like I said, good moments, just not the best. I remember falling asleep first time I watched it properly. Question 12. Favourite theme song in a James Bond film? Again, Goldfinger, Shirley Bassey. She's probably one of those. In fact, I think she's the only one to do more than one Bond theme. She's done Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, and Moonraker. For me, the best one from her is Goldfinger. Question 13, last one. What is your favourite line in a James Bond film? I could say many of them because there is many, like martini shaken not stirred, and shaken not stirred, martini, and the classic Bond, James Bond. I'm gonna go with something that's not said by James Bond, but said by one of my favourite characters. Grow up, 007. Q from various ones where Bond would have a little play with the gadgets. Or wait, no, sorry, it's not Grow up 007. He says that in one of the Pierce Brosnan ones. It's Pay Attention 007. Pay attention 007. Yes, that's what it is. Pay attention 007. Said by Q in various films by the great Desmond Llewellyn, who played who played Q in 17 Bond films for 36 years, 1963 to 1999. That was dedication right there to a role, and he made it his own and was a tough person to replace. But I think the current actor they got, Ben Whishaw, is good as a modern art like Q, but Desmond Llewellyn, I remember growing up watching him, and I remember watching him well into the Brosnan era. And he played Q right up until his death in 1999. And the last credit to his name was, The World Is Not Enough. So there you go. The James Bond tag, created by Sean Patrick Erschen. So I usually tag people in this, but because I'm not familiar with who likes the Bond franchise, I'm just going to leave this out to anyone. If you want to do this tag and, then tag, you are it, get involved, and yeah, that's it for this one, the James Bond tag. So, until next time, I bid you all a goodbye for goodbye.